Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles.
Look at you guys. Look at you
Brought
use
to you by
your cell
Sean
phone.
Porter Promotions.
I got notes in here.
Okay.
In a football game.
Preparation.
Yeah, I got to.
My Super Bowl pick, holding on strong. Kansas
Mine is
City.
gone.
I'm changing my pick.
Me too.
You have to because it's gone.
Yeah, right.
I'll take Cincinnati and Rams.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
I'll take
boom,
69 and
boom,
49ers. Super Bowl. I would love to see that.
Part of
I
me was
actually
rooting against them because of Zytel. But
Well, you rooting against the Niners? Cause
I was. I thought about it yesterday. I saw the game and I was like, man, I don't want Zytel to be happy.
I knew it. I knew it.
I want to be happy.
Come
You
on.
do that to all your
Come
friends.
on, did Cincinnati beat the fan out of you too?
Not out of who?
Out of you two?
No, never.
Y'all Browns?
I was happy for Joe.
Yeah. I don't.
happy for him.
And technically, it's still Ohio. You know.
That's what I'm saying. They beat the fan. No,
Oh, no.
Y'all love Brown
I'm still
fans.
going,
so
and
I
I'm
don't
still
wanna hear
going.
that.
I still have Kansas
Because
City.
your cousin Drew flipped the script. He like F,
Nah,
F
he
Browns.
did. Nah, shut up.
He said,
Shut
yeah,
up.
he said Ohio. I said, oh, look
Yeah,
at
see,
you.
but there's a
Since-
difference.
Nope, you would never see him say LA Rams.
He was speaking on Joe Burrow. He wasn't speaking
he
on
wasn't. No, he
Cincinnati
wasn't, 'cause I
organization,
said LA
Cincinnati
he
Bengals
graduated
organization.
LSU.
Did Joe Burrow get sacked 9 times yesterday? By the
Yeah.
way?
Most ever.
Yeah, that's.
I
not-
do love the Jets and Dolphins though. So,
But listen,
everybody got to
internally, I picked the Rams a long time ago.
Okay, you
Internally.
Just keep, I was gonna say you just kept that a secret.
Listen. I picked the Rams a long time ago when I saw Matthew Stafford go to the team.
He's a bum.
And no, I felt like
Strange way of convincing you to.
I felt like that was the missing link
So I'm gonna ask you,
for the Rams.
you guys don't look at Cincinnati as like we don't F with them?
Yeah, that's how it is. We don't have to.
Okay, all right.
But I think, but I think they're.
Nevada. We would never say, "Oh, we riding with Reno."
Yeah,
I was from like
what's
a-
that?
It's cut
5
off in
hours
half.
away from here?
8 hours.
Oh wow,
We cut off.
like from like a Browns perspective, though, I think the Steelers are clearly the number 1 rival, and the Ravens are number 2. So Cincinnati's like they're still a rival, but in our division, they're not even our top 2 rivals. So.
I think it makes sense for you guys to go for them, but that's
Yeah, I just say y'all bums. Just run with them.
they
It's a little
literally
turn-
wear the
I'm a
same
Scott.
colors and play in the same state.
I'm a
What if they
Skyline
win?
chili,
What if
man.
they win the Super Bowl?
They're
Y'all
not
be
going to win
hurt.
the Super Bowl.
No,
Relax.
you a hater.
I am hating a little bit.
I hope he wins Super Bowl.
But listen, no, last week I've had the Rams in my mind for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And then we were talking football,
My man said Matthew
and he said, "Who's your pick?" And I was like, in my mind, the
Don't
only
say
thing I
the
could
Rams,
think
don't say
of
the
was
Rams.
I could only think of a few teams,
Yeah.
and the Rams was not one of the teams that came to my mind, right? So I'm flipping through this more. I said, "Oh yeah, the game's on." I'm like, "Why
The
you say
Rams,
yeah,
clearly.
yeah?" So
That's unbelievable.
This
We
is
had-
the team.
We had to convince him to take his team.
yeah, we had to convince him to
You know.
take it.
We all
I just-
got mad.
The team that I thought was going to win got bounced today, the Bucks.
Yeah.
So the Niners are Aaron Rodgers' daddy, fact.
Okay.
And they've
Okay.
been the LA Rams, you know, and they've been the LA Rams' daddy forever.
I had no clue what he was. I called him yesterday. I had no clue what he was talking about. He said, "Yeah, we're Roger's daddy." I said, "Hold on, is this Sean Zytel?"
And the best was there was no conversation pre-hand.
None.
Was there really? I
He
was
answered
joking.
the phone. We're Roger's daddy. I said, "Is this Sean Zytel?" He said, "Yeah, come on, Porter. We're Roger's daddy." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Man, you don't know the 49ers have beat Rodgers is like 0-3 against the 49ers in the playoffs." I said, "Hey, that's a pretty good stat." Roger's daddy. I was like, whoa.
He was
I was flexing on the FaceTime. I was like, we're Rodgers' daddy.
I said, "Listen, man, I just called you to tell you welcome to come by tonight."
Yeah.
I'm getting off the phone.
Y'all got a chance to bring it home, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they are. No, I don't know. Okay, hold on.
And
It's
had no
it's-
doubt. Just say, oh yeah, they are.
We're
It's
from
fine, no big
nah.
deal.
Can't nobody beat TV.
We not this. I don't like. It's weird when sports fans start saying we because
But hold
I
up,
don't.
though.
It is a
I
week.
don't mind it. Yeah.
But hold up though. What's up with Debo?
Oh yeah, he's.
Did he-
I think he's fine.
Oh, he's
he'll be
good.
good to go.
So
yeah.
if you were not going to win the Super Bowl, where do you feel like what makes you uncomfortable about the 49ers right now?
You mean if like what's missing?
Yeah.
What's from
What
the team?
Yeah.
could hold you back?
Yes.
That's what you were saying.
Jimmy Jimmy G is always do a F up or two during a game.
He's been consistent.
I know he's
recently
Up 1 or 2 times a game.
He's so consistent with those F ups that it's almost in the game plan.
Yeah.
It's like in the defense's head. It's like
There'll be a turnover here,
right, and so it doesn't demoralize the team. They're like, well, he's gonna do that at some point. Anyways.
That was my theory about the Browns last year.
Right, with Baker.
We had a really good season last year, and I felt like prior to last season, teams didn't game plan for us. They were just like, they'll F it up at some point, or we're just going to do what we do, and we'll move forward. And the Browns surprised a lot of teams. Defense showed up, and then, of course, offensively, we had...
I had a private conversation with Sean, but I had y'all pick to win it all.
He did.
I told Sean, I said,
that.
y'all got everything.
He did.
Y'all
And
got
then
everything.
You fast forward this year, everybody was like, no, they're liable to beat us, so let's game plan. I personally, that's how I feel. And I feel like once they game plan against Baker, every defense is rushing, and when they can't get to the quarterback, put your hands up. That's what the league is now.
Yeah.
And a lot of things were batted down, and he just could not find a rhythm a majority, if not the whole season. I think even the games we won, it wasn't him that was
carrying us.
And in a rhythm.
What y'all need? Quarterback?
Y'all
done?
No, wide receiver. I think we need a wide receiver too.
Shout out to Odell. He looking good.
He looking good.
Damn.
He look good. He looking good.
Also,
he look good.
with the Odell situation, like there's certain times where it's not just like one person's fault or a specific side. Like it wasn't working. Odell also wasn't very healthy. Baker clearly wasn't playing well. Baker was also hurt. Like just didn't work out. So
Y'all shouldn't. I told y'all to trade Odell a long time ago.
It's like we're gonna make a decision for the Browns organization.
Everyone was like assigning, and now they're like, Browns are idiots. I was like, it just wasn't working out. He's
I'm
in a new
just
spot.
glad he's balling because people gave up on him.
And I'm still a fan of him.
I'm happy he's balling over there with the Rams. And then also we all have to remember that sports is about money. The professional sports is all about money. So bringing him to Cleveland brought a lot of money and a lot of eyes to Cleveland. And I think it worked out in that aspect of, there's a lot more people talking about the Browns nowadays. And a lot of people, I think, they're kind of like after this season, like, all right, they're back to being the Browns. But I think there's still some people. There's still some people out there that are like the.
I feel like if
Cleveland
y'all lose Javaris, it's over. He's the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah, he is.
If he leaves,
they might cut him. It's like a $15 million
you
cap
gotta
hit.
you need certain players you need to keep. Remember when the Miami Heat had Juwan Howard for all them years?
Yeah.
They still got
Udonis
Udonis
Haslam's been in the league for about
I was like,
400
is
years.
this a joke?
Yeah. He's just there. He'll still step in and hit a mid-range jump shot. I think if he needs to.
Remember he went in there and got a flagrant?
Yeah, hey.
And punched somebody or something.
That's what you got to do. That's what we had Kendrick Perkins in the playoffs a few years ago for the Cavs. He just came in, fouled somebody hard, and checked out.
Y'all had Shaq one time.
Yeah, very true.
That's crazy.
Yeah, LeBron's first.
Like he's unveiling everything.
Yeah, those were simpler times. But we're here after less than 24 hours. Did a live watch party yesterday.
Went to
a good time.
Great time. You fix your Wi-Fi? The guy come back yet?
Nah.
He said, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you got it.
Nah.
He didn't mean it like that. Like
it ain't even his fault. The freaking producer. He bailed on us.
Producer was MIA.
He bailed on us.
And had the nerve to comment all night.
Yeah. He was dropping jewels, though.
Yeah.
Did we ever tell... We just didn't mention that you were doing a live stream, by the way.
Right.
We alluded to you like 15 times. We're like, yeah, he's not doing anything. Don't even like worry about it.
One time he did drop.
No, he said he's on Fight Hype. And I said, don't tell him. He goes, no, he just does videos for there. I said, yeah, no live stream. But you counter program.
Actually, taking a look at the numbers, both did really well. Yeah. So it was the engagement was great for both live streams.
I was
happy to see that.
There you go. Applause button.
He let us know he here.
Didn't know he had that in the tuck.
I'm like,
why don't you do that more often now?
You want to talk about me?
Anytime somebody makes a good point, we're gonna
crickets. Okay,
yeah.
I like this.
That's
we definitely got a deal on the way. This only deal sound.
That's an Ohio sound right there. Some crickets, but I thought it was a good time.
Were the Filipino fans as passionate in the chat as ours? They show up for when they
fighters are going.
When it's a Casemiro or a Magsayo or Manny is not fighting anymore, but they show up and show out with their support. Yeah. With Nonito, it's weird. I always felt like Donaire never got the support that he kind of deserves.
You think it was maybe timing wise with Pacquiao that it was they overlapped a little bit too much?
I've talked to him and Rachel about it. yeah, some of it's that. Some of it is for whatever reasons they never could get on the same card together, which I thought was just a botch. A botch, you know. And then I guess a big part of it is, like Oscar De La Hoya with the Mexican fans, is he's not from the Philippines. He's still an American fighter, Filipino American fighter, and so they, I guess, never quite look at him the same as they look at a Casimero or a Mark Magsayo or a Pacquiao, guys who are from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
but yeah,
apparently those guys. Well, I don't mean to say it like that, but those guys go through something over there, and I think that the respect to get here is like it's. Boom, you got it already. As soon as you can touch American soil and be successful on American soil, you have all of our love and all of our respect. And I just think that it may be something a little different. I mean, take a look at Oscar De La Hoya, same thing, where he didn't grow up in those streets of Mexico that that the Mexicans are used to, and so I think it just took him much longer to get the respect from that fan base, and I think the same thing goes for the Flash.
I mean, they did mention ad nauseum yesterday of Magsayo that he sold, I think it was ice cream to make ends meet growing up.
And
so
they included the word on the streets, or the phrase on the streets. You know,
he was
just to kind of
grinding just to make it by, and then.
Well, Manny used to sell cigarettes on the streets of the Philippines too. So yeah, I get you. There's something too. They connect with that.
I've been over there, man. It's beautiful over there, and there's a lot of struggle over there.
Yeah.
And so again, that they respect that struggle. You know, it's much harder for even Americans. You think about it, it's much harder for an American to get behind a fighter that had a good upbringing, opposed to the fighter that has the street life or comes from the jail
Had to
all that
overcome
kind of stuff.
something.
Yeah, that story, I think it just carries weight. Kind of is what it is.
And I feel like every Filipino fighter, once they touch, like they welcome me to America, is Sean Gibbons wherever the welcome sign. Because I feel like he got every Filipino fighter.
Yeah. He's Pacquiao promotion, so he's got the sign, like you said, the limo driver where he get off the airplane. That's like,
And with that, we want to welcome Sean Gibbons.
that would be funny. I was like, wait, I'm
Actually,
pulled
it
up
was,
on us.
I think it was De La Hoya and them back in the day who tried that with Pacquiao.
That's funny.
So Manny was already this was a big story after it happened.
really?
This was after Pacquiao knocked out Eric Morales in their third fight, and so I guess his contract was up, and he was already it was in the bag. He was going back to Arum and Top Rank, and Oscar tried to swoop in at the airport with a Manny Pac, get him in the limo, and he got him to sign something
Like
too.
Tupac and Death Row.
It was just an autograph.
Right, he got him to sign something too, and it didn't hold up. And
It was a boxing glove. He was like, "Hey,
crazy.
son." I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Sean Gibbons popping up will be funny, but
Boxing's a shit.
you guys gonna go at it, huh? No.
my only issue is the Rigondeaux fight. Once we got past that, I think we could be friends. But that's our only divide.
You thought Gary won, didn't you, Carson?
Yeah, I think the three of us thought Gary won. Okay. We'll get to that, but how did you feel?
I thought he let the fight get away from him in the second half of the fight, but that the most accurate punch all night was the straight left-handed Gary Russell.
Yeah.
It was, but I just knew that judges weren't going to give him rounds down the stretch where he was so inactive, letting Magnifico get off, even when he's not landing, get off first, get off more often, push him backwards, be the guy, making the fight, being the aggressor. And I knew the judges would give him the credit for that. But they actually didn't give as much credit as I thought. The scores, some people thought the scores were too close, but I understood they were judging. Some people just judge. They block out who's coming forward, who's coming backwards, who's throwing. All they score is who's landing. Yeah. I know some people score fights like that, and I think that's what the judges were getting at. And but other judges, they factor in who's coming forward, who's getting off more, who's more active, and those. That he was doing that too much to offset that one straight left hand pot shot landing over and over again. Mm-hmm. But I did think it was a close fight. Yeah.
You had Mark.
I did. I had him winning. Yeah.
What was the spread for
15-13. Mark Magsayo. I could see 16-12. But again, someone coming at me with a 114, or you guys thinking Russell won. It's like, I get it, because the most accurate punch of the night consistently was the straight left hand. And if you're from the school of, I don't care if you're throwing 80 punches and I'm throwing 30, If I'm landing 7 and you're landing 6, he's just going to give me the round. He could care less that you threw 30 or 40 more shots. He's just scoring who's landing the shots. And,
Garcia Porter fight.
right. But Sean was...
Yeah, Sean was landing some shit too, but he felt like he was just more cleaner shots on you.
That's what he was saying after the fight.
There was definitely some interesting, just by the numbers, and we'll obviously get into the fight a little bit later in more detail, but I think it was the 4th or the 5th round. I think Magsayo outlanded him 20-4, and I actually gave the round to Gary. And then I looked at the actual scorecards, and 2 of the 3 judges gave that round to Gary.
Because CompuBox isn't the end all be all.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, but it was such like a wide disparity, and they were like, and it was funny. It's like, no, I gave that to Gary, and so 2 of the 3 judges. But
I had it a draw 6-6. I felt like at the end where he Messiah started putting it on him. And it happens.
I'm professional.
Yeah, fight hype. It's never happened in fight hype, but
no, it doesn't happen on the Porterweight podcast. Typically, we bring the fight hype guy back, and all of a sudden chimes are going off.
I was actually yelling like an idiot on the fight hype live yesterday. So
yeah, we had a good time. Had some pizza. I sat in your seat.
I don't like watching fights without the sound.
Yeah,
I kept bringing that up yesterday. You were the only one that was bringing that up.
It was a copyright thing.
I don't rewatch fights.
Yeah,
I'm one and done with fights. I rewatched it today.
Yeah,
just because you need to hear what they were saying.
And I had like fully accepted it, and then Sean kept going, "Man, I wish we could hear something." Yeah, I need the commentary. I was like,
and as I'm listening, I'm like, I don't listen just for the commentary. I like to hear the punches land. I like to hear. There's moments where if you watch it on muted, the punch you can't tell if it landed or not. But with the mute off, you can hear whether or not that punch landed. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like you get a little bit more when you have the actual sound. Of course, being there in the stadium, is that's second to none for me.
That brings me to something I would love to request from the networks. I would love call it the hardcore cam, where it's a camera in the arena where we can hear all the sounds of the fight but no commentary. I would, I think there's some purists who would love that in all the sports.
They have that now for. They have a sport right now.
I think people like that football. For basketball.
Do they?
When they have like in the bubble, you could hear a lot more. Like you could hear the players,
right?
You could hear the squeaks of the sneakers, and it does add a little something, and that's why I think people like mic'd up and stuff like that, because you can hear. If you're at games, you can hear that normally, and if you don't get a chance to, you get to
rematch clause. I don't
think there's a rematch clause, but I would like to see one.
If I'm Magsayo's people, I probably don't do that rematch. Yeah,
that's fair.
Just keeping it real.
I want you to keep that same energy.
No, I will.
Don't let him.
Oh, we did laugh about with Iceman yesterday.
He's gonna put the pause on you.
Not because he can't, but just you already beat him.
Yeah,
and
go get some money.
Go fight the Leo Santa Cruz fights and those. Yeah,
you ready to go?
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Coming to the Porterweight podcast.
The new. What's
up, Mark Magnifico? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, champ. I'm good. How are you?
How happy are you?
I'm so happy that I'm a new champion now in the WBC, Featherweight World Champion.
Yeah, is it that feeling? Is it what you expected, or is it more or less?
I expected is that I'm gonna be a world champ because I've been work hard every day in the gym.
How do you feel in this fight? From the outside looking in, to me, it looked like there were some struggles there. You were able to pull it through. In the corner or in your mind, did you have any doubt that you were gonna win the fight?
I don't have a little bit doubt in the fight because I know I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this fight because for every round I'm winning the fight.
Were you surprised at how close it was on the scorecards?
Just a little bit surprised because there's a one draw of the scorecard. So a little bit scared. It's a little bit controversial for kind of like this situation.
How big and how important this is to take this WBC title back to your country?
It's very important to me because this is my dream to become a world champion, and now I am a champ now. So I'm so very happy and thankful to the opportunity that Sershan and Al Haymun give it to me.
Hey, Mark, what'd you think of Gary last night? You know, how difficult he was, his defense, that left hand, and what'd you make of him last night? How was he in there?
Gary Russell is a very good fighter. He's a skillful fighter, and I'm lucky that I got hit him hurt him in the 4th round in his arm. So that's my one advantage for him.
Do you feel like because of that arm that, you know, maybe you would give him a rematch, or are you more thinking those wars with maybe those Mexican featherweights like Santa Cruz and Navarrete, or are you thinking because of the shoulder you would give him a rematch? Or what are you thinking, Mark? I mean, I know you just won the title, but
yeah, but it depends of our promoters, Sershan and MP Promotions. So it depends of my promotions.
What did your trainer tell you to do in the corner after you injured his shoulder?
Because Freddie said to me that stick to the game plan, what we train in the gym. Just focus, no matter what happened in the ring. Just focus, stick to the game plan.
And Mark, man, you know, of course, you got the same trainer, Freddie Roach, as the great Pacquiao had. And what is it about you champions that come from the Philippines? You have this rhythm, this rhythm that comes from the Philippines, this little bounce in your legs, those big, strong calves, and that explosiveness. Not just you, but Ancajas is like that. What is it about that rhythm that you guys have, that style from the Philippines? Where does that come from? What is it about that?
Yes, we're born strong.
Simple as that.
Hey, Mark, where do I get those
We're
calves
born a
from?
warrior.
Hey, Mark, where do I
we
get those
train
calves
hard.
from?
We
Train hard?
like to run every day. Yeah, we train hard. We like to run every day. That's why our calves is big.
How do I get the calves without running?
I don't know.
Mark, was there anything last night that surprised you about Gary Russell? I know you guys had a really good camp and you trained for everything that Gary was going to bring to the ring. Was there anything that surprised you about Gary Russell?
I just surprised that his speed is more than that I'm expecting, because we train that in the gym every day. His speed, his power, and his footwork. Because Gary Russell is very good fighter, skillful fighter. So I big respect him. I hope he's injured okay and his family bounce back soon.
Go ahead, Mark.
Is it your speed surprising too, though, Mark? Because people talk about Gary Russell as one of the fastest fighters in boxing, and it didn't really look like there was a speed advantage. You look just as fast, or what do you think?
Yeah, because everybody knows that I don't have a speed, so that's why they so underestimate my skill. So I want to show to the world that I know how to box. I know I can adjust the fight. I have a speed. I have a timing.
What lessons?
No.
What lessons did you learn last night going forward? Obviously, now as the champion.
Big lesson for me: that's don't underestimate your opponent. Yes, even my opponent got hurt, I didn't underestimate him, because he's still fast, still strong.
Mark, listen, I know you're headed home soon. What happens when you touch down in the Philippines? What happens when you land, when that airplane lands? What's going to happen over there in the Philippines?
Maybe our countrymen is so proud of me, because this is my dream to become a world champion, and then I've been working hard for this fight. For 4 fights, I never going back home in the Philippines. I said to my wife, "Baby, we're not gonna go home until the belts are gonna bring the Philippines." So
that is beautiful, man.
I work hard. No Christmas, no New Year.
Yeah.
So I sacrifice. I discipline myself to become a world champion.
Yeah.
Young and already married. When'd you get married, Mark?
I already married since 2016.
Okay.
Since he was 18 years old. Since you've been married.
2020.
In 20. Okay.
Hey, Mark, this is going to be one of the biggest parties of the year.
Yeah.
Can we get an invite? Can we get an invite? That's all I want.
No parties.
He said no.
Did he say no?
He said no.
I agree.
He said
we
no.
we all have mentioned that it's cool that the Filipino fans are so passionate. Whether it's Pacquiao, whether it's you, whether it's Casemiro, where do you think that comes from? That pride of your people supporting, the boxers and obviously athletes and everyone doing big things.
So very important that I'm one of the champs now in the Philippines, and one of the because Senator Manny Pacquiao posts on Instagram, "Welcome to the club." So I'm so happy and grateful for that he introduced me to the world that I'm one of the champs now in the Philippines.
Yeah, man.
Mark, do you think this really is a passing of the torch moment, the timing of it all? Manny just had his last fight. Now, do you think you're their guy? You're the guy now from the Philippines, and you're going to be that guy for the next decade. What are you thinking about that?
I'm just gonna do my job as a boxer. Just follow my idol. Just follow my idol, Senator Manny Pacquiao. He's my idol. He's my hero since I was a kid. So this is it. This is my first world title fight, and I won the fight. I'm gonna work hard more to become a world champion again.
Congratulations, Mark. We are very proud of you over here at the Porterweight Podcast. Thanks for joining us.
You're my idol too.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you,
You're my
man.
idol, man.
Thank you. I'll see you
You're my
back over
idol,
here
man.
in Hollywood. How about that?
Yes, I see you. Yeah, we see you.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Enjoy your family and
Congrats.
celebrate.
And eat a lot.
Thank you.
Don't eat too much.
Stay blessed.
Thank you. Yeah. No.
Talk to you later.
That's it's normal.
Have a good one.
Take care, man.
Thank you, Mark. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you, champ. Thank you, guys. Thank you. God bless.
Absolutely.
No problem.
He says exactly what Manny used to say. Just doing my job. That's exactly what Manny used to say.
Humble.
Yeah.
And the star quality is there.
Yeah.
I believe
He's
so.
a young, good-looking kid. I think he connects with that audience and can move pay-per-views if he can keep winning.
Yeah.
He can keep winning fights like
And yesterday wins not having to, obviously he uses his power, but not having to, like in the Seha fight where he's maybe struggling boxing wise and then just ices him. Yesterday he didn't have to. He showed I can box, I can win. It was a great performance.
Also has exciting style and also has power in the Seau fight.
Yeah, absolutely. What is that? You're
Hold
so
on.
rough on the table here.
Because we Gary had one hand.
I know. Well,
I was thinking that.
He had one hand.
let's do this. Let's go back to the beginning of the card.
When he had two hands.
No, we can go back to the beginning of the card. We can touch on the undercard a little bit because
I feel like that's what he's going to.
He had two hands in the beginning of the card.
also very
Yeah,
true.
so
Yeah, I figure we were gonna wait until Mark came on, which we were lucky enough to get him.
Yeah.
Talk about
And
the
by
undercard, which was great.
by no means am I faking the funk. I'm very proud of him and happy
course,
for
yeah.
him. And I noted it.
and you
There's-
can even-
there's no reason for me to tell this dude everything he did wrong or what he can improve on. That's not my job.
Yeah,
That's,
this is a celebration
Yeah.
moment for
Yeah,
him.
you
But-
can be proud of somebody winning and not thinking they won, or
But the fact that you said, hey, he's had to switch it up against
Gary.
against Seha and iced him yesterday. He didn't have to ice Gary in order to win. Gary had one hand.
I thought Gary won the fight. So
Crazy.
draw.
Like I know we're gonna go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But the stats show 0 jabs
the jab
for like
stats
8 rounds
yeah,
straight.
the jab stats were crazy.
But let's go back to the
Yeah.
beginning.
Start off with the first fight, really fun fight. I think a lot closer than the three of us expected.
Yeah.
on,
Oh,
on the live stream, I don't know if
Yeah.
you felt the same.
No, yeah. I expected Lucas to get blown out.
I thought King Tug lost.
I
Did you?
did too.
Yeah, because there was no question that was a knockdown. Like on any planet, that was a knockdown.
We gotta go all the way to the beginning. for
Yeah,
that.
I mean that, and
Do we got the ref on? Can you get
that
the
would
ref?
be funny.
No,
Well,
I
don't-
can't get
First
him
off,
on
I'm
here.
not sure if he's ever going to do another interview because that one with Jim
Yeah.
Gray didn't go well.
He slapped himself in the face
Yeah,
with
hit
the
himself
towel.
with the towel, hit his face into the microphone, but it was a knockdown, right?
Yeah, but
I still don't see the knockdown.
because you can't go back and retroactively score it.
Yeah,
I thought King Tug won 6-4, but the draw wound up being justice because he missed the knockdown.
Yeah, I thought Lucas won based on I think he should have had the knockdown
Because it's a 3-point swing.
Yeah,
Right.
but that the interview and Jim Gray said, well, it's there. And he said, yeah, what punch did he throw? I didn't see it. And he's like, he hit him. Like he clearly punched him. I'm not sure.
They should have never put that referee in that
You,
position.
yeah, you can't do that. You tell,
which is funny.
The ref don't do interviews.
But we always want more interviews. Like we want judges to be interviewed. We want refs to be interviewed. And that might
got
be
it.
what-
Don't
That
say
might
we.
be what we always.
I
do.
don't.
We've talked about it on here before. Put a microphone in front of him. You have to
What the hell
answer.
did you see?
You have to answer for it. He clearly didn't see the punch that landed. They showed him angles. He asked for another replay. Said, "Can we see that again?" And he saw it again and still didn't see the
Hey,
punch. landed.
I did, one of my first jobs, worked for City of Henderson, and I was a ref. And they said, even when you make the call wrong
Gotta
with your
stand
call.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess at that point maybe he is just kind of not saving face, but he's confident in himself and doesn't want to be like, oh man, well he definitely knocked him down. I'm a complete boob.
Well, Atlantic City hasn't had fights lately,
Yeah.
So I think if it was another commission that's been having a lot of fights lately,
They're like, do not say anything.
right.
But that's Jersey, and a lot of those guys in Jersey work in New York.
Right.
It's the turn of the new year, and those guys haven't been in action in a long time. But that he didn't see. I think a part of me believes that he
That's
did not see the
crazy.
punch thrown, and like I believe what you just said. Like he had to roll with what he said,
Yeah.
and I believe after the fight they said, "Hey, can we interview you?" And I felt like he was just in so defense mode.
When the commission said good to go, I think it was is it Larry Hazard? I think is
Yeah,
Yeah,
Larry Hazard.
yeah.
And he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
feel free.
Yeah.
But
He kept using the word his what did he say? He said his
momentum,
body
his body
no
his body language.
his body language, but
He's like,
he
yeah,
was
his body language made him go down. I was like, is that what they call jabs?
he meant his body.
I mean, to
the
be
momentum.
fair, in real time, I couldn't tell if it was a little bit of a slip as well because he was hurt 2-3 seconds ago from a right hand before that.
Yeah.
And then
So I
he
didn't-
did throw something big and missed.
He
Right.
missed his hook, and you can see that his back foot was coming out.
Yeah.
But he got touched.
Yeah.
It should have been a
And that should have been a knockdown. He did get touched. So, when you're playing devil's advocate and you're trying to figure it all out, I looked at it quite a few times this morning. I said, okay, he was throwing a punch. His foot was coming out. Had Lucas not thrown a punch, he very well would have still gone down.
Right. Yeah.
However, Lucas threw the punch.
Yeah.
And that's a point where, again, these commissions need to be able to step up and have somebody there to regulate what's going on.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I believe, and I've always believed that even if, as a judge, if I saw something that the ref did not call, I myself am going to make the judge. I'm a judge. I'm going to make the judgment call myself. He missed it,
Go 10-8.
but hey,
Yeah.
this is a 10-8 round. You know what I mean?
I like it.
And that's how it should have gone.
And I mean, that changed the fight. And
that
that's
changed the fight.
That's the same thing in the Ugas Porter fight. My man
That's
could have got.
crazy.
Hey, don't hit me. I felt like he was about to hit me. I never felt like he was about to hit me
But the
until right there.
contracts ain't signed yet. Like we meet with the lawyer tomorrow. Like relax.
That was
I'm coming to the table with some new
Hey,
numbers.
he's talking in my ear.
some new numbers. There was a close fight though to start off the card. It kind of got the ball rolling in a good way. Subriel Matias did his thing.
Subriel Matias.
Not
Yes.
a whole lot of defense in that fight, and I wasn't mad at it before.
We like Carson.
I'm really happy they stopped that fight when they did
Agreed.
because
He didn't look. Ananyan did not look like he was
got
in good
payback.
shape.
he did. But the scary thing with Matias, we remember what happened with Maxim Dadashev.
Yeah.
And it was taking the exact same pattern
Yeah.
as this fight. Some of the, again, from a similar part, Eastern Europe, them guys are tough. And some, with that Maxim Dadashev fight, taught me that I'll never forget, and this really is for the utmost respect to all fighters, is some of these guys will die before they touch the canvas. Because Maxim Dadashev died that night and never actually suffered a knockdown.
Yeah.
And so this guy, he went down off the left hook, but he was fighting in a similar fashion that Dadashev fought that night against Matias. And so I was really happy they stopped it, man, because Matias, he got 18 knockouts now and 18 wins, but he's not a one-punch knockout guy.
Right.
He
It's
pounds you in the
accumulation.
submission.
Right.
And those are the guys that give you the worst damage,
Right.
is the guys when you get into the late rounds and you still taking punishment,
Somebody
taking
said
punishment.
something James Tony-ish, like just breaks you
Yeah.
down and just constant. But yeah, no, he gets obviously revenge.
Sometimes
for
it even
the
looks like he
loss.
throws arm punches.
Yeah, I mean anything
But-
that's gonna do damage is
Right.
I said that earlier in the night. I was like, there are arm punches. Get the guy on the end of the shot and release the shot from there. But when on top of that, everything's landing. But when you know how to work the way you work, I wasn't a fighter like this. So to get in on the inside and do things like this, roll, step over, like that wasn't my game. My game was bop, 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 pivot, get out, and keep it moving. And so for me, I was like, I don't really dig that, but he knows how to break a guy down by just working his hands, keeping his hands at home when he needs to, and just continue to stay at that pace. It's a really impressive pace that he has.
Not an easy fight for anyone at 140.
I mean, I don't think he's.
I don't think he beats like the champs. but
Right.
That's not gonna be fun to face him.
Shout out to the ref.
I just mean Gary Antoine Russell and Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a name. Call Kenny.
Jose Ramirez as well.
Right.
I mean, any of those guys, but I don't think he's an easy night's work for anyone. But yeah, no, he's an explosive fighder.
Yeah, he'll give people hell.
Yeah, gives
Not
revenge
a
for-
defensively sophisticated guy.
Surely not. No, definitely not. Definitely not defensive wizard there. But
Right.
sometimes you don't need to be.
He'll take some to throw some.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I watched the fights back yesterday for two reasons. Number one, I wanted to see how that fight played out with Gary. Watched the whole thing beginning to end. Yeah. And then number two, I wanted to see who he was talking to after the fight.
That's what I was just
Did
about to
anyone
ask
figure
Sean.
it out? Yeah, you're our expert.
Wait, say again. Wait.
After the fight, Subriel Matias keeps he's gesturing and he did the cutthroat a few times, which I was surprised by. And there was somebody outside the ring that he was talking to, and we couldn't figure out who he was talking to.
Hey, hold up. Like Carson,
I
you
was
feel
shook
like
by the
you feel
cutthroat.
like the cutthroat has no place in boxing.
Bernard Hopkins for
Because I feel like it was.
See, I'm more of what you kept. I'm like, who you jumping
was
at?
It was more of a thing when we were growing up. Like
Yeah.
the NFL players were doing the cut.
Then they
throw,
start
and then
killing
they
it.
kind of
Like,
cut it
man,
down, and I
yeah.
just haven't seen it. So I saw it. I was like, oh my goodness, the cutthroat's back.
But yeah, no, they never.
Yeah, we
I
have no
watched the
clue who it
post-fight
is.
interview and all that. They never referred to who he was talking to.
maybe Ananyan's team. I mean, he's a rough customer. Subriel Matias. I remember asking him about did you ever feel any remorse? Not that he should, because he was doing his job, but did you ever feel any remorse about what happened with Dadashev? And he told me, very matter of factly, nope, I was doing my job. And then growing up in Puerto Rico, I saw men get killed in front of me all the time. So he could get nasty, and so maybe he was, irregardless of whatever Ananyan was saying, even if it wasn't personal, he made it personal. Like, I got that win back. That's right. It could have been
He was heated after.
And he got a body on his record.
Yeah, he was heated. He's explosive though. I still do. Is it a Jaguar? Did we figure that out? Somebody said it looks like a block of cheese. By the way,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sean said the Jaguar.
Yeah, I think it was.
No, he said it was a Jaguar.
Was it me? I
He
might have
said
said
was
it.
a Jaguar.
But
I was thinking cheetah.
Sean, do you like doing? We'll see.
I thought that was a
I thought it was a
piece of
big difference.
after you thought it was cheese
I thought that was a piece of pizza. Yeah.
So, you guys talking about on the
on the
trunks?
trunk. Yeah.
Oh, pizza. It could pass for a cheese pizza too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could have pulled him all the way into it.
Go ahead. You had an actual question,
But it could. Obviously, what he kept doing over and over again, and Lomachenko will do this in his own way. Touch, bang, bang, and he would. Did you like doing that a lot? And when you fought, and do you think that's a good
You talked
technique
about it
fighters?
yesterday. You talking about like changing speeds,
Yeah.
kind of throwing out a couple, just to land.
That was that was the most of changing speeds that I was really taught.
Yeah.
And not even I was a professional when I was shown that. And actually Barry Hunter is the one that showed me that. I think we were in a camp out there in Colorado Springs. They put the pros with the amateurs during that 2012 Olympic quad. And that was the first time he had ever said, hey, when you got a guy that's covering, if you touch, you're gonna get him to move a certain direction. You'll see the opening, and that's the way to take the opening. So a lot of times when you see that, it's not a guy just doing that to say I'm working my hands. A lot of times guys are taught to, if you touch here, the brain signals that my right side has been touched. That happens, so on and so forth. So I did like doing that as a professional because I felt like it got results.
one of my favorites of that was Adrian Brunner and Emmanuel Taylor. Where he throws these wide hooks and then uppercut, boom, straight down the middle.
Crazy.
That was one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was so, because it was in the moment you just see these punches throwing, and then on the replay was when they slowed it down where he's just like throwing these just
It's like
touching
a
hooks.
half hook, half uppercut.
And Taylor's, and then
Was it in the 12th round?
Yeah.
it was late.
Last
yeah.
round.
Yeah.
Last round.
Taylor got up. Like, he did get up. He did
Yeah.
make it to the distance.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, he did.
It was such a good knockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
I was actually at that fight.
Yeah, hit the outsides of the gloves and then was like, boom, straight up the middle. But
I think at 140, I think something's got to change for him in order for him to win a title at 140.
Matias?
Matias.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think that styles make fights, and I think that this is the style he's been using to beat this guy. But I got to figure that he could do something different if the opportunity presented itself where he had to. But I didn't see anything different in this fight opposed to the previous fight.
A guy like Regis Prograis,
yeah,
lights him up just defensively.
Maybe
if he,
open.
I believe if he fights that kind of, tries to fight that kind of fight, yeah.
Maybe not change trainers, but bring someone in like a Barry Hunter. Just somebody to tweak something a little bit.
Just tighten
Just
stuff
tweak
up.
something a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to change. You're not going to change his DNA. You're not. He's all of a sudden not going to be a completely defensive fighter or completely change his style. But yeah, just tighten some stuff up defensively. I think is what can get him going.
But he's got a couple thoroughbreds who are on their way to the belts in Gary, Antoine Russell, and Brandon Lee.
Absolutely.
He's good, but he ain't messing with those two young guys.
I
they would
thought
be
he
fun
might be
fights,
talking to not Brandon.
Gary.
He might be talking to Gary last night.
Could have been.
But I was
Oh,
like, nah,
yeah.
he's in the back room. He's got to be in the back room with his brother.
Maybe he saw a chair that had Gary Antoine Russell written on it where he was gonna sit. It was like, yeah, if you were there.
Or maybe he's talking to Gary Kidd. Like, yeah, your daddy. I'm going to get your daddy.
So we mentioned the Russell family. Moving on, main event.
Tough night.
We alluded to it earlier, but I thought Gary won by. I think I had him winning by a round. But it's one of those fights where if you tell me it was a draw, I have no issue with that. You tell me Magsayo wins close, I also have no issue with that.
After I watched it back, I had it closer than I thought before.
Yeah.
I think last night I had it 8-4, and today I had it 7-5. And there were a number of swing rounds.
I think I
that
had
gone
2
either way.
rounds. I think it was the second, and I can't think of the other one where I was like, I could kind of go either way with this, but yeah.
I still had it 7-5 for Gary.
Was we giving him too much credit just because he had one arm? And we were just so impressed by him?
I felt like that last night. I felt like that could have been the case. Also, very, at least me personally, I'm gonna speak for myself. I was very critical of what Mark was not doing. So because he wasn't doing those things, I'm like, you ain't doing that.
We weren't giving you credit for what you was doing.
Yeah. So when I watched it back today, I was like, all right, I saw more from Mark this morning opposed to last night.
Yeah, you know how I feel about activity winning you fights. It just, I understand he landed more. I understand he was clearly the more active fighter, and Gary kind of alluded to it after the fight where he said, I could hit him anytime I wanted to.
Yeah.
And he did. Yeah. Like his left hand, I don't know what the numbers were as far as his accuracy, but he was putting up serious numbers.
I think our special guest last night started influencing us.
And what bothered me, when I watched it back, was the fact that Showtime didn't acknowledge a lot of what Gary landed through the course of the night.
I think Abner did a pretty decent job of saying like, well, he made him miss a lot there because there were definitely these times where Magsayo would kind of get him in the corner and he'd throw a few shots, but he didn't land any of them. And if he did land one, it kind of grazed off Gary's glove, and it was like, okay, like does that win you around? Like, I don't know. It's a close fight though, and it was a fun fight in my opinion.
WBC happy? They can actually work their belt.
I saw people with that sentiment, and I'm not sure I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it, but I don't know. I felt like people were quick to want to get that belt off Gary, where they're just like, finally you lost. Now we can see him fight 5 times a year, and
nobody wants to see belts get held up. It's kind of like when Keith Thurman just held the belt. What belt?
And that's fair.
He had the WBC
and the WBA.
And the WBA.
And he was just holding them until they
when
had to
saw him.
Go ahead.
That's what the conversation.
Oh,
was
that's what it's
about.
about. Yeah, stop holding the belts.
Yeah, come up off the belt. Yeah, what did you? Because we all watched it live together.
Right.
What did you think of the fight overall?
I mean, we touched on it earlier. I did think Magsayo won. I think the fight got away from Gary as the fight went on in the second half. The best punch of the fight was the straight left hand of Gary Russell. Yeah. They came fewer and far between later in the fight. It's in those championship rounds. And Magsayo, he kept landing his right hand to the body well. That was one shot. it's funny because Gary didn't jab the last 9 rounds, but Magsayo, Gary was able to take away his jab as well for a lot of the fight. But when the few times he did use it, he would throw a nice jab up top and then land like this right uppercut to the body. He threw it he landed it to the chest a few times. I thought that was a good, consistent shot that he had going for him. And just was able to be more before the fight. We talked about, I said, sometimes just that energy and enthusiasm of the younger fighter when a champion's in Gary's part, starting to go on the downside. And I did think Gary I thought Gary did look his age last night. And of course, limited to one arm is a big deal. When he won that title, he knocked out Johnny Gonzalez with a beautiful right hook. Gary has a great right hook he can come back with.
You mentioned that yesterday, that one of his big punches is his right hand.
Is the right hook. And he's great at, right after shooting that straight left hand that he kept landing, he's great at bringing it right back on that angle that fighters love to do. And it's a beautiful shot when he throws it. So I was impressed with Mark Magsayo matching his hand speed, although I wonder if at 34 that blazing hand speed isn't quite as blazing as we were used to it. And it's not going to look as blazing when you can't open up with both hands. Yeah. You can't really let the combinations go.
Yeah, one of y'all asked Mark about the hand speed. I was like, you don't get any hand speed when you're working with one hand.
But you got to admit, the kid was explosive.
The whole interview, if you can't
I feel.
But Magsayo's explosiveness was impressive. He ain't slow.
I feel maybe not cheated by, but like if he didn't get hurt, even if Mark had won, we could have said, what a hell of a performance. You beat Gary Russell, longest reigning champion. But it's tough to say that because, like you said, there's these things where it's like, you did this, you did that, but he only had one arm. Yeah. You did this, you did that, but he couldn't jab. So was it really that impressive? And didn't really, we kind of asked him when he was on, but he didn't really turn the heat up at any point.
And how do you feel about that? Like Carson, Sean, when I asked him about Freddie Roach, and Freddie Roach told him just stick to the game plan.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like they had a game plan, and when something changed, it looked like they stayed the same with what they were going to be doing the entire night. And I personally don't agree with that. I believe that when you see a deficit, it's clear, cut, and dry to the whole world. You, as the trainer, should be able to see that and say, hey, force yourself to do this and do that against him. I know we didn't.
Especially Freddie Roach.
I know we didn't train for this, but you now at the highest level. This is the highest level. You have to have multiple weapons. You have to be able to do multiple things and make those necessary adjustments. Now, what I was saying about him, you could tell that Mark has a problem punching and stepping at the same time. But in this particular situation, as a trainer, you gotta pull it out of your fighter. You know what I mean?
And it honestly could have cost him. Like if he didn't turn the heat up and he loses that fight yesterday, there's just no way afterwards you're
sticking to your game plan.
We're like, what the hell did we just do? Like, why didn't we do anything?
Especially a Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is top 3 ever.
And when you have an explosive fighter like that, this isn't a guy that like has to rely on the jab and has to fight from the outside. Yeah, he can get after you. He can put the heat on you. And
maybe what they felt, there was a few times he would try to reach in and he would get tagged. You saw that because, like you said, sometimes his feet wouldn't move with his hands properly, and so he would get tagged a few times when he would try that. And so at that top level, it's hard. These fighters make you walk that tightrope act where if you open up, then they can counter. But if you don't open up, now you're there staring at them all night.
And I gotta say this, like I heard the corner a couple of times, and all I heard from the corner was, sorry, sake of it is what it is, cheerleading. I heard you couple more rounds, keep doing what you're doing. Like I didn't hear direction, I didn't hear instruction. You know what I mean? So I believe that there's a turn now, and I'm not just saying that because Dre was in here to saying that the other night. I'm like, yo, relax. But we've seen this now where Freddie has not gotten the best out of his fighters. And I don't think he got the best out of Mark last night. I feel like there were some clear adjustments that Mark could have made had he been instructed to make those adjustments. His instruction was to follow the game plan. Yeah. Good game plan, but you got a fighter now that has changed, and that you should change accordingly.
I think Abner was the one that kept mentioning, he was like, all he has to do is step to that side. Yeah. Like, just keep stepping to it. He can't punch with that hand. Yeah. Just keep stepping to the left. Your left. His left.
Yeah. Well, if he had, sorry to cut you off, but real quick, let me say this. If he had stepped if Mark had stepped to his left, and I'll use the microphone for an example, but if Mark steps to his left, now he's out of the way from that straight left right hand, straight left hand.
Yeah.
And if anything, Gary's got to turn to get that left hand off. So now you're forcing your opponent to do some things that they don't usually do, or something that he hasn't had to do yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just
turn that microphone like Lomachenko was in there pivoting.
I did feel like there was some missteps there. I felt like again, I thought it was a 7-5 victory for Gary Russell. I saw some swing rounds. It could have gone 7-5 the other way. Obviously, it did.
Gary said 10-2 in his opinion.
Oh, man.
I love Gary.
Gary.
And Gary, I think, was very candid afterwards. What do you and we can kind of mention this from a grand level and then obviously tied into this, but Gary said that he hurt his shoulder, I think, 2 weeks before the fight. How do you feel about a guy still going into the fight?
What do you guys? Well, I just while we were talking about it, I did keep hearing Dan Raphael in the back of my head. Of course, Dan was saying on Twitter after the fight, like, you just don't want to hear it. It's all bullshit. No, you don't want to. You can't do that. You either go into the fight with no excuses, or you can't do that after the fact. Those are his. What do you guys think about that?
That's. I just don't know. Like, it's easy to look back now and say, well, don't fight, dude. Like, your shoulder's clearly messed up. But then, like, if it had been canceled, then there's we mentioned earlier with the injuries in boxing, you don't know. And so then if he pulls out of the fight with a shoulder injury, we're going, okay, yeah, I'm sure your shoulder's hurt, whatever. Gary Russell, inactivity, then it feeds into that narrative. So
it's one of those things, like you said, Carson, you're battling with. We look at you guys like modern day
gladiators.
Superheroes. Yeah, damn near. Like, shout out to one of your biggest fans, Vanessa. She said, I look at, they're like superheroes, literally, because they literally go in there. So when you say anything, we're like, oh, man, come on.
Yeah.
You have things going on. You just say, I'll deal with it.
There's always lingering effects. There's always lingering injuries. Now, I'm not gonna say always. There's
your body's not meant to be punched.
It's not. But there's the cases where guys who don't have lingering injuries. It's not always the case, but.
Oh my God!
That just ruined the joke. Now I realize the joke wasn't good. Go ahead, Sean. Continue. Shoulder. Go ahead.
We changed. We changed.
There's some changes of foot.
You got one more time. You my dude, but you got one more time.
Packing it up. Oh, he lost his headphones.
Because I'm afraid he's gonna do it again. I'm gonna have to cut him off. Man, I don't want to do that.
We can't do nothing without him.
Please don't do it again.
So lingering injuries. There's always lingering injuries. Go.
He made a decision.
Yeah.
All right. When you made the decision to get in the ring, that means you made the decision not to say anything before the fight. Don't say anything after the fight.
Yeah.
Caveat.
Get your shit worked on and move forward.
Can I interject on that point?
Yeah.
He did in an interview say he wasn't at 100%. He did allude to something being wrong, to be fair.
Before the fight.
Before the fight.
And then again, there's so much going on, even with the family and all that. It's like, what 100% are you talking about? So, but me personally, if there was something going on and you decided to not say anything before, then you should make that same decision not to say anything afterwards. If anything, those small little subliminal messages, hey, I got some things I need to work on, some things I need to get fixed, just take care of my health, I'll be back. You know what I mean? It doesn't, I think as bad as it looked and him clearly, at least copy box saying that he didn't throw any jabs for about 8 rounds. I think
there was one that was like just
1 or 2 or something. When it's that bad, then you probably you should have made the decision not to fight, but you decided to fight. Yeah. So make the decision to just keep everything quiet.
My biggest critique or criticism of the situation is he mentioned he's had this injury since 2008.
Yeah.
Like
you've been sitting at home. Like, you should have fixed it.
Yeah. At some point, and he said they told me to get the surgery. And I said, nah. Yeah. I was like,
he said, now I'm finally gonna get it.
Yeah. Which.
So we're not gonna sit for the.
No, I'm not good that we won't see him back. I hope we see him back soon.
No, we'll see him back.
Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah. But I think that was like they told me over a decade ago to get this surgery and I didn't. So I'm just like, really? At no point you could have gotten that surgery, but. He said, hell yeah. When asked if he wants the rematch, Magsayo, I knew he wasn't going to give us I'm definitely giving him a rematch, but I would like to see it. I think a two-armed Gary Russell beats him.
I think it would be a hot
mentioned
fight
yesterday.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be a hot
Hey,
fight.
Mark is not gonna just give that belt up.
Especially
He's gonna come to fight.
Especially if Mark's able to get fights, like if he's not able to, even if he doesn't unify, but even if he gets some nice fights,
can
at
work on some
26,
stuff.
and then you all of a sudden in 2023, Gary comes back, you get the rematch. Because I think I always feel bad about saying like somebody owes somebody a rematch. Like I don't think he owes Gary a rematch, but I think it's probably the gentleman's thing to do.
Yeah,
like,
I see what you're saying.
but I'm not like.
Well, it was
after
classy of him to even acknowledge the injury.
Yeah.
Because a lot of fighters would have been in their right to say,
Yeah, who cares? I'm not.
I don't want to hear
hearing
it.
that.
You know, because it's in their prerogative sometimes to
Yeah.
just downplay that. And
It
I don't
seemed
want,
to me like Mark thought that he created
Yeah,
that.
that he
injury.
did. That's
what it
why I
seemed like.
just
He said
rolled
that.
with
He
it.
said that yesterday as well in the post fight.
in the post-fight, yeah.
That I hit him and injured him, but I'm not sure. I don't think that was the case. But
And I think Sean alluded to this early episodes. Like people always ask Sean, why you never got a rematch clause? There's more to it than that.
It's more
So I know
to
a
it
lot of
than
people
that.
gonna say that it's a rematch clause.
It's more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I think that the boxing fans, sorry, but y'all have learned a lot of this lingo.
Yeah.
That's not real. It's not real lingo.
Right.
It's just, it is what people say to keep the days going until they figure out what's really going to happen. You know,
the one-sided
kinda is
rematch
what it
clauses
is.
are funny to me, where it's like, if I beat you, you don't have a rematch, but if you beat me,
Yeah.
we're running it back. You son of a gun. But
I think I with Mark though, I think I was impressed with his ceiling. I think a ceiling's there. He could get better.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The talent, the speed,
Yeah.
the athleticism is there.
Yeah.
Scott punching power.
Yeah.
And the Gary Russell rematch, that's cool. But I don't know. Right away, my mind went to Manny made his name in these great fights against fighters from Mexico. And I'm thinking at 26, him and Navarrete could be a war. I think.
I want Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I think him and Santa Cruz could be
I
a
like
war.
that fight more for him. He's such a good kid. I don't want to see him in there with him.
No, you don't get it.
You think your body back?
He's not.
Yeah, that's a serious.
He's not getting bullied against Navarrete like these other guys have. He's a big kid at this weight too, and he can punch too.
I mean, didn't Julio say how like put him down?
But this kid's getting better now. Every
of
fight.
course. Yeah, and I don't think he walks out there in the first round and Navarrete just blows him away. But
Your face was good though.
yeah, I don't know that. I just don't think like he's good, and I think his ceiling is high. I think he can get to those guys. I love the Leo Santa Cruz fight. I think that would be a fun fight.
I think he beats
say
Leo.
this. I gotta say this, because I believe y'all. The ceiling's high. I can see the ability. I can see that it looks to me like there's a lot that hasn't been tapped and touched yet.
Yeah.
Is Freddie gonna touch it? Is Freddie gonna tap it? Is Freddie gonna get him?
Well, this
where
isn't
he
the
needs
Freddie
to go?
Roach of 20 years ago
That's what I'm
that
saying.
brought that out of Pacquiao.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's his assistant?
That's what
Marvin Somodia.
Yeah, maybe he needs to take a step back more and let that guy.
Marvin.
Marvin. Yeah, is he an assistant?
Yeah.
Is he? But
I don't know.
Some guys are coordinators.
I was gonna shout
Yeah.
out.
Head
I was gonna
coaches.
shout out.
Yeah.
Boo Boy.
Yeah.
Boo Boy's my
got
guy.
you.
That's
Yeah,
Pacquiao's
yeah.
guy. Yeah, I don't know. I also think
You don't know till you give him a shot.
I think he beats I think if he fights Kiko Martinez, like he beats Kiko Martinez pretty comfortably. I don't know. I don't want to see him go in there and just immediately lose his belt to Navarrete. just a
Damn,
the
look
Santa
how he
Cruz,
do you.
the Santa Cruz fight's more realistic, anyways.
Yeah.
Because of that's he's both PBC fighters, but I think he beats Santa Cruz.
And
I agree.
Santa,
One guy's on the way down.
Santa Cruz fights in 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
I think he
perfect.
I think he
About the
beats. How do you see him versus Leo? Think Leo wins?
he's a big. Leo's
He
his
loves
guy.
Leo. Leo's
I
his
know.
guy.
They're in the battle for the nicest.
Yeah.
Leo was a
I'm not gonna
bantamweight.
say
Not even gonna say
I
anything.
can't
Okay.
say nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Leo beats him at this point. But
Timing is on Mark's side.
Yeah.
He's a natural 26. Leo started
Yeah.
at bantam.
I think he beats a lot of guys at 26, just not that guy that we refer to. Navarrete.
Sean, I'm gonna ask you: did the Tank knockout take something out of Leo?
I think so.
Took something out of me watching that happen.
That's a good comment, though.
He's something else.
Was it not? I
My
mean,
man said earlier, my body ain't meant to punch like that. Yeah, you.
I mean, we all saw that knockout.
That was one of the great
yeah.
knockouts ever.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that he may not be built to just take that beating because he'll just sit there and just box.
He's had that belt for. He was on that list when they showed the longest reigning champion. Leo's had that belt for a minute. He hasn't defended that since I don't know how long. But
Nah, man, I'm too biased to speak on that fight
That's fair.
right
I got
there,
you, I
man.
got you.
I can't.
I'm not
even do
mad.
it.
I'm not even mad at you.
I can't even do it, man. If you, I came in with you, I'm still. It is what it is. I'm keep it real.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not
he
mad
is
at
one
you.
of the nicest people in the world.
Absolutely.
So I get it. You know.
Yeah.
All of it, man.
I still want
All
to
of
see,
it.
even if somehow the rematch doesn't happen with Magsayo, I would still love to see him and Gary, Leo and Gary.
Yeah.
Which I also think Gary wins that fight too. But
I'd be cool with Gary winning the fight, moving up to 30.
It's clear Gary's got to be healthy. That's
yeah, get
That's
healthy, get everything.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's
like
clear.
we said, dealing with a lot of stuff with his family.
Yeah.
This honestly kind of times out where you can get your surgery, get healthy, and get everything kind of under control and just try to deal with everything because it's a lot. When we mentioned this, dealing with a lot.
And this is good timing for Mark because he's going up against guys who have been great.
Yeah.
And have good big names.
Yeah.
But are older.
Yeah.
Or rearing being older. And even though all of us are like mid 30s, Gary's 33, got to figure Leo's 33, 34 at most.
Yeah.
But that hunger is different. We talked about last week. The hunger is just different. And so this is good timing for Mark.
I think he beats every other champion other than Navarrete. Like, I think he beats Kiko. I think he beats Lee Wood.
Not one to beat Navarrete.
I just don't think he beats him. I'm not sure there's a guy in 26 that can beat him.
Right.
In my opinion.
Make the fight.
That's probably it's not gonna happen.
But like,
it's probably unfortunately,
like
I
Lee
know,
Wood is
yeah.
the secondary WBA champion. He beats Lee Wood. He beats Leo, in my opinion. He beats Kiko. Like, you can beat all these guys at 26 and unify. And he seems like he's kind of eager to get after it. But
I'm gonna ask you this, Sean. B-side. I don't want to mess with Sean business.
I'm already intrigued by this question. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Down the road, is it possible for like top guys to come together and make another promotion company outside of the Bobs, the Al, and
Well,
those guys?
people try to do it every couple of years. Jay did it with Rock Nation.
And they just
Matchroom USA comes along.
Pro Bellum.
Yeah, Pro Bellum, right. Kathy Duva's still going to be around. So, but I get what you mean. Like,
Don
and really
King's
be a
still-
threat.
Yeah,
Don King's been around for 400
like the guys,
years. Yeah.
kind of like what they did in the NBA. Like they kind of took over the league. Like the guys make their own stuff now.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility where we can get the business of the boxing? It's not
Where the fighters take over the...
more
No,
control.
it's boxing's governed by self-interest. It's each person is out for their own interest, for their own selves. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll. It's every man for himself kind of thing. It's not a league where it's 32
It have to
32
be
teams,
united.
revenue
People-
sharing.
People really would have to come together.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if fighters would make more money that way, because there's revenue sharing in these other leagues, and it's
there is still aspects where some of that makes sense, but like promoters are promoters for a reason, and like managers are managers for a reason. So you can almost kind of like, yeah, do I really need to do this? But it's like, yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
Like it's just something where these guys have roles. And they play those roles. I was actually just thinking that kind of like you were saying, can we just get it to where like, hey, I want to fight you. Let's fight. And it happens. Lawyers figure out the money, whatever. But then it's like, you need a promoter, you need venues, you need this, you need, commission stuff. So it just
in
gets
a sport
kinda tough.
that in the modern times is always struggling.
Yeah.
Like it's not, but we're in a niche sport compared to the other sports.
I feel if there's
it's not easy.
if there's any time to do it, we're in the right time there. We can do it.
Or at the least approaching the
Yeah.
right time. Yeah.
Especially because a lot of these fighters, like Ant said with the NBA and like Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, like you have these guys that are new to the industry and they're kind of making a statement. Some of these young boxers are taking it on themselves to, do more promoting of themselves. Social media obviously is huge with that.
Yeah.
Even both Philly fighters, Cool Boy Steph and Boots Ennis, like they're social media guys. Like they're young, they're interested in that way. So
Well, I mean, Sean did show us if you really, really want to make a fight happen, despite
podcast.
obstacles.
Start a podcast.
But I mean, that was the
That was
cliche.
Sean's end goal with the start of the podcast.
to get the
was to get the
fight.
Crawford fight.
Yeah, he was
That-
like, "Yeah, we start this."
he's just playing it out at this point, so it doesn't look
Hey,
obvious.
chess pieces.
So if you want your fight to happen, come
Start
on the
a-
Porter Way
start a
podcast.
podcast.
No, come on the Porter Way podcast.
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
man. What
That
you
was,
doing?
I was
Come on,
just,
man.
I was joking. You guys know I
He don't
joke.
want the work.
You guys know I joke from time to time. And we can kind of close. There's a couple fights coming up. The next Saturday.
Makabu.
Yeah, the next Saturday is the big one, the 5th. There's a lot of big fights. But yeah, 29th, we have Makabu in Warren, Ohio, which is
Yeah, that's just crazy.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Both 2 Ohio natives here. It's like
Don King promoting.
near Youngstown, near Cleveland.
In between the two.
Pretty sure Mario Manningham is from Warren. That's the first name that comes to mind.
Have you ever been to Warren?
No,
I have.
no, I've never been there.
I went
Got a
to
great
train
basketball
there.
team.
Warren?
Is he thinking of Warren Harding?
I'm probably.
Because
I know the Warren Commission.
Cleveland is.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think Mario Manningham. I don't know why that name comes out. I think Paul Warfield's from there.
The Giants receiver.
Yeah, Mario Manningham. But yeah, I don't. It is. Well, Warren's just kind of
Oh,
a
okay.
random.
Yeah.
Especially in the era of Vegas, the Barclays Center, California, the War Grounds, the Punch Bowl, whatever the hell you want to call it.
It's
then
it's
it's like
DK, so maybe he's there's a
taking it
rhyme
home.
to the
Yeah,
reason.
and you mentioned kind of taking it home, which
Yeah.
is cool for Ohio fans. Go ahead and go to it. Makabu, who is still kind of allegedly a Canelo potential opponent, defending his WBC title. There's a heavyweight fight as well. Trevor Bryan.
Yeah.
Also, somehow there's like a WBA regular alleged
On paper,
title.
the WBA heavyweight champion of the world,
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that? And then there also is a top rank card.
but not in our hearts.
Robson Conceicao is back
Yes.
in Tulsa, taking on Javier Martinez, and they have a lot of the young guys going.
So glad
Tiger
you're
Johnson.
on this podcast, man.
got you, man.
I don't know none of this.
Tiger Johnson, Cleveland's own, tied in Ohio. He fights.
Olympian?
Olympian, absolutely. Shushu,
Nico Ali Walsh.
Nico Ali Walsh is on there. Shushu, Bruce Carrington.
Shoe. He wears a lot of shoes.
Yeah, the accountant.
New York.
But yeah, so
Mr. Carrington.
yeah, a lot of the young guys.
I like
in there.
him. We got
And I think
to see him on Fury Wilder 3 card. He looked
I
good.
think Nico is not on the main card. I think. Don't quote me on that.
You happy now? You guys got your way.
But it is something where
It's all right with the world now.
I think it's good for him, and I think it's good for just boxing.
Matter of fact,
Have him on.
in
He'll
the
be
week,
on.
week of the fight, he's going to be on Porter Way podcast.
I'll be damned. Well, this is the week of the fight, so
Damn.
have him on have him on ESPN Plus. You can still watch if you're interested, and I don't know if we have the fight card. We don't have the fight card. He's snoozing over there. But the
Makabu has in the Makabu. I mean, he's knocked out the guy he's fighting already. He's beaten him once before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and
so it should be a battle again.
maybe
Crazier things have happened.
Start the music.
maybe it will be him after all with Canelo.
That would be so strange, but
Could be why Canelo hasn't announced it yet.
yeah.
He comes out and he'll be like, "It's him. I hugged him. Remember?
Yeah, he's like, see,
What do you got?
you remember this guy? I gave you the hint. It was in front of you the whole time.
Did y'all not see us hug?
Yeah,
The
but
whole,
hey,
take a million pictures. Yeah, we're fighting.
yeah. So a couple fights, and then the next week is a big one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that week. Keith Thurman weekend.
I'm
Mario
excited
Barrios.
for Robson Conceicao, to be honest. I was a fan of what he did with Valdez.
You know, if Canelo beats Makabu, he's got to do the old Booker T. Got to go 5 division.
Can you dig it, sucker?
I thought you meant to spin the Rooney after you beat him.
That's what I was looking at in my head.
Canelo's on fight, probably do that too.
My God, is that Canelo Alvarez?
This is the Porter Way. What's up? I'm Showtime Sean Porter.
I'm Ed. Follow me on IG, Ed with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way podcast. This is Anthony Brunel, and this is Carson A. Merck. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
All right, just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porter Way
You're already.
podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're going to do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Sean Porter.
I'm Anthony Brendall.
Carson A. Merck. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.